Space, the final frontier. Perhaps, but not a lawless frontier. So why do we need rules in space? And who gets to decide what they are and how they're enforced? The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 states that the exploration and use of space should be for the benefit of all humankind. At the time, it was really a two-horse race between the US and the Soviet Union, but it has since become a pretty crowded field that includes many nations and the private sector too. So, what stops the most powerful nations from claiming territory in space? What prevents big business from exploiting space resources for profit? And how do we keep space peaceful, safe, and open to all? As we've continued to venture beyond Earth, these questions have become increasingly important, and new laws have been introduced to answer them. Over 100 countries have agreed to rules on issues like how best to protect astronauts and how to ensure satellites work properly. They've taken measures to prevent contamination of celestial bodies, and they've even thought about how we should be using the valuable resources found in space. As with any system, this one doesn't always work perfectly. We've littered Earth's orbit with dangerous space junk, for instance. Satellites aren't always properly registered, and militaries have already tested weapons in space. Enforcing the rules can be a challenge. There are no space police. Like all international law, it's a voluntary process, and enforcement is largely a matter of political pressure. Most of the time, though, the rules do work. Space-based activities are always complex, and so, to be successful, they often demand global cooperation and coordination. That means following the rules is in everyone's best interest, especially private companies, since a stable, rules-based environment is good for business. But since we're continually progressing into new and more ambitious activities in space, the rules need to be constantly reviewed and updated. Key questions that need to be addressed include: how do we make sure the rules are followed? Who gets to make them? And how do we make the rules fair? Space lawyers are grappling with all this at places like the UN Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. But these aren't just questions for them. If the exploration and use of space is to be truly beneficial for everyone, then we all need to be in on the debate. Astrobiology OU is working on this, but we can't do it alone.